But I'll tell you one that really, really, really early was, you know, an important one. Soulstrike and Carlin producers. We went to New York and tracked Whitney Houston, and the song was Heartbreak Hotel, which was was her, Kelly Price, and Faith Evans. Oh man, that was the one where I got to do the mix, and it was that moment where people actually started calling, other producers like, "Oh man, great job," because at the time I was tracking a lot of vocals, tracking bands, and all this. But that was the first time where I remember guys actually calling me and saying, "Oh man, it sounds good." So yeah, and it happened to be a Whitney Houston track. No one usually hands you anything in this industry, and if they do, you gotta prove yourself over and over and over again, because you're only as good as your last mix, right? So you have to work for it. You have to keep, you gotta have dedication. You gotta be passionate about it. You have to have good people skills. No one wants to be in the room with an asshole. We always say that. So you got to understand artists as well. You got to almost read their mind. I work with, I used to say from Leon Rhymes to Busta Rhymes, where I don't mix one genre, and I take pride. I'm very proud of that, because I can go from a Kanye West to a John Mayer, which are completely different genres. So understanding artists, how they think, almost being one step ahead. So it's a combination of a lot of things. As a mixer, there's a few paths, right? One is coming from the engineer side, another one from the production side, the musician side. I always say I try to be a balance of left brain, right brain. I feel like there's engineers that only use their left brain, and I feel like there's engineers that only use their right brain most of the time. But I feel like to have a combination of those two is great. So there's really the good old path, the path that the commercial studio, being a runner, an assistant, and all that. The best advice is just keep being a music fan. Again, going back to they teach us in school. They teach all of us how to fix, the equipment. It's very equipment and plug-in, whatever it is. It's about the tools. And somewhere along the way, you kind of forget that the reason why you got into this, the reason why you want to do this, is the love for music, right? I mean, if there's 100 engineers here, 100 will say the same thing. We got into this because we love music. And I think at some point we kind of forget that. So we just got to remind ourselves that we should be music fans, and I'm a bigger fan today than I've ever been. And I think that's really important, especially for engineers, Again, it's not the tools that make us. These are tools for us to utilize them, not the other way around. I don't even know if I have a style. I wouldn't even know that. But I stay true to the artist's vision. And I think that would be my style. Again, if I'm mixing Kanye, I want to make it sound like Kanye. So I don't necessarily have a sound or a style. I almost don't want that, because I don't want to be, pigeonholed into that's your style. So I go for whatever the artist's vision is, and I try to adapt to that. So yeah, I don't think I have a style.